Welcome to the lunch counter. Today we're at Gargoyles Grill and Ale with Mayor Keith Hobbs.
Hi,
How are
Diane.
you today?
Great, Diane. Nice to be here.
Good. Today I thought we'd talk about the state of the city and where we're headed and what we're doing and how we're doing and how you're doing as the mayor. So I thought we had some questions that were asked to us on Facebook. So we'll go through a list of those and see where we are today. So what are we doing well in the city, Keith?
Well, I love talking about the state of the city, first of all, and I think what we're doing very well is communicating and being open and transparent. And I talked about that during my campaign, as did a lot of councillors, and we're including the public in our decision making, which I think is an excellent step forward. And when you're building a city, which we're doing, for years I thought we were standing still as a city, and that's one of the reasons I ran for mayor. And I think that with input from the public, which we're getting a lot on, if you look at the event center, the open houses that we've had, if you look at the urban master forest plan, if you look at the transit study, all these things we're including the public in. They're giving us their input loud and clear. And you can't go wrong if you include the public on it. So I think that's one area, communications and communicating what we're doing. The flood was a prime example. I think from day one we communicated to the public exactly what was going on, and maybe a couple people were left behind, but I think the majority of people that were affected by the flood we picked up, and that speaks to good communication. Infrastructure is another thing that we're doing well right now. We put an extra 1.5% of the budget into infrastructure enhancement, and you can see the results. Our roads are starting to be paved, new curbing, and the city's starting to look good.
That's good. What are we struggling with as a city?
I'd have to say identity. It's 42 years ago that we became Thunder Bay, and I still keep hearing Port Arthur and Fort William, and why is Port Arthur getting this, and why is Fort William just getting a courthouse? And it drives me crazy because we are Thunder Bay, and I think that's something we really have to work on, is the identity of this city, where we're going as a city. And I think the waterfront core is a prime example of where we're going. We're building districts. And the waterfront itself is just a prime example of an identity in an area. The Bay and Algoma district, once those improvements are done there, you're seeing businesses thrive there.
Right.
And I think we're going to have an identity for each area, but it will be Thunder Bay. We have to get past that mindset of Port Arthur, Fort William.
So if we see that the waterfront is kind of one area and Bay Street's another area, what do you see on the south side of town? If we don't call it Fort William, where do you see that, and what's the identity for that area of town?
Well, I think we have to make that our government district. We have City Hall there. We're going to have the new courthouse. I'd like, for Simpson Street, I've talked this over to a few councillors, I would love to see something like Spark Street in Ottawa.
Okay.
Where you have a mall and you have residential boutique mix, restaurants and things like that. Make it a trendy area. If you look at Gastown in Vancouver, so you have to look at all different cities in Canada and pick little pieces from all of those. But I think it's got so much potential. That courthouse is going to be huge for that downtown core.
Right.
I'd like to see us clean up a bit of the drunkenness and those kind of social issues we need to really work on. And I think that can be a real nice government area, bedroom community at night. So, it will be really, really vibrant at night. But, hey, that's what we have the entertainment district for.
That's right. And so we had a big announcement today.
Yes.
Do you want to explain what was announced?
Well, for the last 2 years we've been working on this. And again, when I became mayor and councillors, I think we pretty well endorsed the idea of an event center, conference center. And I said back then, we have to do our homework on this. So 4 consulting firms have been working together, and they came out with the waterfront district as the best spot, the area down by the waterfront for the event center. And it makes the most sense for economics. The economic drivers for that project, 285 to 380 full-time jobs, taxes from it. The government alone are going to make about, they'll probably get their investment back if they assist us with this, probably in 5 years. It's going to be, I think, the final piece of that big puzzle called the entertainment district. And I think people are going to really be excited about it. I know the people that wanted a Nova Park are going to be disappointed, but when I saw that report, my previous profession, as you know, as a police officer, I had to work on evidence. And the evidence that I've seen in that report, hands down, the waterfront district makes the most sense economically for the building of the downtown waterfront core.
Right.
And it pretty well beat the Nova Park pretty badly in all areas except for parking.
So what do you see for Nova Park then? What's the future of that area?
Well, we had True Grit move into there. We have another company, which I can't name right now, are moving in, building a 3-story building, and we're starting to get some interest in there now. So we're looking at the mining cluster as well. We have Lakehead University and Confederation College right close to that area. We are doing the Junot Avenue Golf Links corridor starting next year. Right. So that's going to be 4-laning with bike lanes. It's going to be a very active area, and I think that's going to attract more business to that area. So we're sticking with the original plan of light industrial, and
Does the city depend too much on one industry? In the past, we had our grain elevators, and those seemed to come and go. We had forestry, and it seems to have waned a little bit. We're heading into mining, and everything we hear every day in the paper, it's about mining, mining, mining. Have we put all of our eggs in one basket?
I really don't think so. And I'll give you Regen Med as an example. We're fighting hard as a city council to keep that alive because it's a piece of the medical sector. You look at the med school, and right now we have a conference going on in Thunder Bay, 850 delegates, and Thunder Bay is on the map as a medical center, and so that cluster's there, and we want to keep building that. Mining is going to be a huge piece. The latest study that came out by LU, and we're doing our own mining readiness strategy. If all things pan out the way we want them to, $130 billion in revenues over the next 10 to 12 years, that's really going to grow this city. But
is that just optimistic, though? Is that the best case scenario, or is that pretty realistic as to what we think is going to happen?
That's actually underestimating, because that's just 10 mines that are in queue right now. There's going to be a lot more than that. So if you look at Sudbury, they do $5 billion in value added a year. We're going to be doing that easy. We're at about $600 million right now, and we're going to try and grow that to $5 billion as well. So we'll be the Sudbury of the Northwest.
Yeah. So now what about, we're hearing all kinds of things about the waterfront. We'll go back to that for a bit. Mm-hmm. Are people happy with it generally? What are you hearing at City Council about the waterfront? What do people want from it? Where should we take it next?
I've heard people that were dead opposed to it. We had thousands of people that were opposed to the waterfront, and I'm hearing from a lot of those people, you know what? Once I've seen it, it's just incredible. We had 175,000 people through that waterfront, and I went to most of the events this summer. And it was just incredible, the number of people. It's a hidden gem that we're going to market to the world, and it's unbelievable success story. So now with the event center, if we do get the funding from the province and the feds, that's going to be that big chunk of the puzzle.
That'll bring more people.
It'll be unbelievable.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with Mayor Keith Hobbs.
Great.